Kyrie Jesu Domine, dona eis requiem.
Good morning and happy Sunday. Hope you have a good day ahead of you, whatever you plan to do. I hope for most of you listening to this, it includes some act of worship to God, because worship does make us better disciples. You can be a great person without ever going to church, but you cannot be a disciple of Christ without coming together with other believers. And if you're baptized, you're called to discipleship. So enough preaching there on the Christian stuff. Play more of that if you come to church and hear me. If you're a person who listens to things, like I have music playing in the background, I almost always have some sort of background noise except when I'm praying. It's about the only time I don't. And maybe that's part of my attention deficit disorder or something, but I don't listen to mainstream media much anymore. I don't turn on the TV for the prime networks on regular TV or cable TV. I will typically watch something on Amazon Prime or Netflix if I'm gonna watch anything. But most of the time, I am listening to podcasts or watching them on YouTube. And so I guess the question we all ought to ask ourselves is, who are you listening to that fills your thoughts, nudges you along, exposes you to different ideas, or confirms the one you already possess? And I had a video like this earlier in the year, last year, where there are certain people I'm listening to now almost every day when they do a podcast, because I'm interested in what they have to say, even if I'm not in complete agreement with what they're saying. Some I do. I mean, I listen to Andrew Klavan every time he makes a podcast. He is probably one of my favorite cultural commentators, and he gets it. And he is conservative, but he's not hostile to liberals. Same thing with a Dennis Prager is excellent. I don't listen to Dennis Prager every day, but he is excellent. On the liberal side of life, Dave Rubin, I listen to most of his interviews. And man, I don't have time for Joe Rogan. I listen to Joe Rogan, chunks of it and excerpts from it, because he's usually doing a 2 to 3 hour interview, which I really like. I like the long form interviews. It's just having the time to sit down and listen to it in a consecutive block. Usually I listen and pause and then come back to it, which is the great thing about YouTube, is it bookmarks where you left off unless you clear out your cache, right? And Scott Adams, since he does under an hour format, I listen to him almost every day. And he does his little coffee with Scott Adams every morning at 9 a.m. our time here in the Central Time Zone. The rest of the Daily Wire people I like listening to: Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. People I've recently added in my mix. Again, these are people that confirm a lot of my views, but not always. The conservative twins, the Hodge twins, are hilarious. Officer Tatum is very good. I used to listen to a lot of Jesse Lee Peterson, but he's more like Joe Rogan. Jesse Lee Peterson is a preacher out on the West Coast, and I think he does like a 2 to 3 hour radio show every day. And he does an excellent job. There are just too many people listen to, not enough time. Bridget Fedese, I love her comedy. She's funny, and she does some good podcast, hour-long interviews. And there are people that all of them have interviewed that I have now added to my podcast list. Again, not enough time to sort through it all. The one I've been listening to lately is Timcast IRL. Three younger people all talking. And then I'm gathering they're all from the skater culture. But I would say that they're liberals who have drifted right more because the left has become so extreme. Timcast IRL, and I think Tim Pool is mixed ancestry of whatever Caucasian his father was, and I'm guessing a mother that was Korean. So anyway, so some interesting stuff. There's all kinds of things out there. So anyway, God bless, and who do you listen to, and who's making you think in life? Have a great Sunday, everybody. Bye.